Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our LASIK seminar. I want to welcome our folks online. We're doing a live Zoom event as well as everyone here in the audience. But I do want to say a special welcome to everyone online on your computers to our LASIK seminar. Today we'll be talking about some of the latest ways to correct people's vision so that you can see better. Can you hear me okay? You can't hear me? How about now? Can you hear me now? Fantastic. Great. Good deal. So we're going to open it up. Tonight we'll be talking about some of the latest ways to correct people's vision. Whether you're 18 or 81, we have 6 different surgeries to correct people's vision so you can see better without glasses or contact lenses. I'm excited to see some of our own patients here tonight that have had various surgeries that we offer here at Juliet Eye Institute to help them see at their best, be less dependent upon contacts and glasses, to really do those things that you really want to do and be free. It really is what we claimed it to be, and we'll let our patients speak for themselves. I'm going to invite Josh up. He's our marketing director, our patient experience director, and also our LASIK coordinator to kick things off tonight. Josh, come on up.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you guys for attending our LASIK seminar today. Today, we're going to be going over what makes you a good candidate for a laser vision correction procedure. Juliet Eye Institute is a fantastic institution that does many things, but its main focus is to really focus on correction, and that's correction of the eyes through various methods. We have actually 6 different ways that we can go about correcting our patient's eyes. A lot of it's really gauged towards the age of the actual patient, which is great. But what's amazing about it too is that it's not a one size, most people's eyes aren't one size fits all. So what that means to everyone else is like, what if you're not a good LASIK candidate? Or what if you're not a good PRK candidate? There have to be other options for individuals, right? And so that's what we're going to go through today. We're going to be hearing from different patients that we've had and their experience with Juliet Eye Institute. I want to thank everyone who's joining us virtually today. Thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule. We'll also be releasing this video virtually as well too. Just type in your email and name and we'll send it your way. But just want to go through a couple of some main points that we're going to go through. First of which, we're going to talk about who is Juliet. Why did that name come about? What does it mean? You know, most eye doctors' clinics are named after themselves, so we want to make sure that we know exactly who Juliet is, as well as the mission of Juliet Eye Institute. Then we want to identify some key factors that can really impact your life in terms of what's important to you. What are you trying to achieve out of your vision? Is it something sports related, or is it something for work? Tons of different questions that we have for everyone attending today. Then we'll go through all of the procedures that we offer that's really basically characteristic to your eyes, and we want to match a specific procedure to your unique set of eyes. And then at the end, we'll be talking about different financing options. We get this question a lot here at Juliet Eye Institute is, you know, what are the options for me? What kind of financing can I get, right? And frankly, there's a few different options. So we'll definitely go through those things. As of right now, we'll talk about who Juliet is. Juliet Melendez is Dr. Melendez's mother. And it's actually a sad story, but it's a great story. Juliet Melendez was diagnosed with a rare eye condition called retinitis pigmentosa, which causes tunnel vision. And it's legally blinding, and I always give her a hard time. And I say, you can see, right? I know you can see, Grandma. But what's great about it is that she does not let that impact her life. She is just amazing. She's always wanted to play board games, and she's always inspiring to everyone that she meets. So we always wanted to keep that at the forefront of what Juliet Eye Institute is, and that's really putting the patient first. Just like the way we put her first and she puts everyone that she meets ahead of her. So it's fantastic. She was so excited. This is just a day that she came by and just soaked up all the energy and love that everyone had. Like, oh, look, this is Juliet. This is who it's named after. So really cool photo op. Had a good time. Let's see what we got next. And also, Juliet Dynasty was established 2 years ago. So we actually just celebrated our second year anniversary here. So we're really pumped up about that. Additionally, I'm also celebrating my second year as well. So I'm one of the co-people. Anyone else here co-people? Krista? She didn't want to raise her hand that day, but it's great. We have a fantastic time because we're actually changing people's lives daily, and we get to see that impact and that excitement from every patient, and just makes it worth all the while. And at the Juliet Institute, we offer our patients the ability to select a treatment that's best suited for their lifestyle. And this is something that we truly embody in every single conversation that we have with every patient, whether that be just checking in or coming in and just hanging out with them in one of our back rooms. I'm guilty of that. I'm not trying to get out of work or anything, but I just love talking with patients. You know, Haley, Kiana, and Chelly and Helka also know that I just love talking, right? I'm just going to hang out. And I think last time we talked about like Disneyland and all kinds of cool stuff. We're not done with that conversation, by the way. Star Wars, like just a lot of stuff. And so we really create solid bonds with every interaction that we have with all of our patients. And the goal, right? The goal for every patient here is to become 20/20. We like to call it 20 amazing. There's some patients that actually see a little bit better than 20/20. Raise your hand if you're one of those patients. Seeing better than oh, wow, I didn't think, oh, that's cool. That's cool. So a lot of these patients, what are you, 2015? 2015? 2015? 2015? 2010. What? Really? I think so. She, wow. 2015. Dang, that's cool. What's really cool about that too is that a lot of our patients are just overwhelmed. They're like, 2015, that's cool, right? Like, oh, that's cool, but like, no, the standard is 2020. 2015 is one line better. 2010, just you're amazing. That's awesome. I always joke around. I always talk to the staff. I'm like, how come you couldn't get me to 2010? You know, but it's just a joke. And then Dr. Melenis will say, well, we could get you back to 2020. I mean, that's just like, no, it's cool. I'll just take mine. Because I'm 2015. I had Smile last year. So, and so did Krista. Krista had Smile. Are you 2015 too, Krista? That's awesome. That's so cool. But it's, like I said, it's just fun. It's exhilarating what we do here. And we really believe in our mission in putting our patients first. And what does your lifestyle require from your vision? That's the question we want to ask you today is, you know, what kind of things do you want to do in order for your life to be improved through better vision? You know, and you're going to hear from some of our patients here today about the problems that they had with their vision that ultimately made them choose exactly what to do next, meaning I need to find a solution to this problem. I'm spending way too much money on glasses, spending way too much money on contacts. What do I do, right? So you're going to hear from those patients here today. The first patient we have today is Kiana. Kiana is an amazing patient of ours. She is just full of smiles, always just lights up the room that she's in. No pun intended with all the lights, but we're going to hear from her today and what really motivated her to choose a procedure.
Okay. Hi, my name's Kiana. I am a first grade teacher, so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get the LASIK procedure done. But also I've had glasses since I was in the 4th grade. And I'm 29 years old now, so it's a long while. And the amount of glasses that I got and lost throughout my life was a lot. I'd always get new glasses and then find my old ones, and it was a very frustrating cycle. But also just with teaching and teaching tiny humans, you're always on the run and on the go, and having to push up my glasses, having to find my glasses because I had a habit of taking them off for whatever reason, and setting them down and being like, where are my glasses? it was frustrating for me, and I didn't like contacts either because I always felt like there was something in my eye, even though there was legitimately something in your eye because you have contacts. I just didn't like the feeling of the contacts. And I like to exercise and go running and snowboarding, and I was telling my new friend here that when I go snowboarding, I would put on goggles, but I wouldn't put on my contacts, so I would just be kind of half blind going down the mountain. Things were like a little fuzzy, but I could see a little bit, but it wasn't clear. So I found Julia Eye Institute, and I came here for a consultation just to kind of get the feel about LASIK because I wasn't too sure about it. And when I left, I told my mom, I was like, yep, I want to do it. And I want to have it done at Julia Eye Institute, just because they made me feel so comfortable with their procedure. And I was just excited. I was excited at the fact that I could wake up and not have to have my glasses anymore, not have to worry about getting a new prescription redone the next year or anything like that. And it was 150% worth it for me because I wake up and I'm able to just see, which is a gift that I will never take for granted, ever. And it was just really worth it. So I'd highly recommend getting LASIK procedure done.
All right. Well, our next superstar patient is Miss Haley. Haley got the all-new EVO ICL lens implant, which is a fantastic lens. Just got FDA approved in March of this year. And it's just kind of taking the whole vision correction kind of whole system to the next level, right? Joe Jonas is the face of it now. So you're basically got the Joe Jonas lens. But Haley was one of the first people to get the new EVO ICL first toric. So awesome. We're going to invite her up to the stage and hear a little more about Haley.
Thank you. Just hold it.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Haley, and it was in end of last year, I think, I came to the Juliet Eye Institute for my first consultation. But rewind before that, I've been in glasses, contacts since I was in first grade. I've never had a time where I didn't really need aid to see. Like, my eyes were pretty bad. And I wore contacts all the time because I didn't like to wear glasses. I'm a preschool teacher, so tiny humans, yeah, they're crazy. Got to keep up with them, and I couldn't wear glasses. And my glasses that I had were so thick, too. Like, Dr. Melendez knows they were like a half an inch thick. They were wild. And so I would just get contacts every year, and they were so expensive. And I remember working in high school, and like two of my checks going just to buy my $1,000 contacts. Like, they were just so expensive, it was ridiculous. And I always said, as soon as I'm old enough, because you have to be 21 to get LASIK, or until your eyes are done developing, I'm gonna get LASIK, and it's all gonna go away, and all my problems will be solved. And I waited and I waited and I waited. And right when I was old enough, Andrew knows, we saved the money, and I was going to get LASIK. And I was so excited. And we went, and they told me that my cornea was too thin for LASIK. I couldn't get LASIK. And that was really devastating because that was kind of like my plan since I was like in first grade when my dad got LASIK, like in 2003. It changed his life. I was like, it's going to change mine. But when that wasn't an option, it was really devastating because I was like, I'm going to have to be in contacts a lot longer. And I was going to the eye doctor. I maxed out, like as strong as the brand of contacts that I had always used made. And I still wasn't seeing 20/20 even with the strongest contacts. Like and that's when I kind of knew this was more than like something kind of, that we could fix easily. And I went to 3 eye doctors before Dr. Melendez here in Albuquerque, went out of town for one, and they all just said, your prescription is so high. Like, it's pretty rare to have a cornea that thin, prescription that high, and it's just a bad combination you got, essentially. And they said there's really no fixing it. And I had maxed out my contacts, and it was progressively getting worse. And it was to the point where I think I was seeing 20/60 with aid. So that wasn't even strong enough to have a driver's license. So I was literally not going to be able to drive. It was like the scariest thing ever. I got like depressed about it. It was really sad because there's no cure for it. There's no answers for it. And then this year, the EVO toric lens came out, and I was like barely a candidate for it when I came and saw Dr. Melendez. And he was like, I think I have a surgery that is going to help you. Because before we had looked at LASIK and it wasn't going to work. And we were looking at Smile and some other things. And it was like that month that, remember Evo came out? And you were like, I think you can be a candidate for this. And I was the first person in New Mexico to get the Evo toric lens. I was supposed to be the first overall, but due to some scheduling conflicts, I was like the second. But yeah, and when I opened my eyes from the surgery, I was seeing 20/20, like right away, and that had never been the case for me ever in my life. So, I mean, it just really changed my life. It really did. It was the best. I know it was so expensive, but it was just so worth it to be able to wake up and see, to go swimming, to rub my eyes, I was blind without my contacts. I couldn't see. And I'm gonna tell a quick story real quick, but I remember coming in for an appointment with Dr. Melendez, and I don't know if he was training somebody or somebody, I don't know, somebody was shadowing him for the day. And he told him, he was like, her prescription's so bad, like there's a fire in the house, she's not getting out. And we both kind of giggled, and he looked at us, he said, no, I'm serious, this is serious, we are saving lives here. And I said, you know what, yes, we are saving lives here. Heck yeah, so I'm just so thankful for Josh and Krista and Dr. Melendez and Brett and everybody here that's just been so helpful to me and really helped me see. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Haley is a fantastic advocate as well. Everyone here, they're brand champions. And so we have a little gift for you guys later. So I just want to let you guys know that. The next person we want to bring up is Mr. Pacelli. Mr. Pacelli is a Smile patient, and he's in medical school now, and so he's going to tell us a little bit about his journey, what kind of led him to Smile, and how he's doing now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Hey everyone, my name is Pacelli. I'm from Las Cruces. I'm a third-year medical student now, interested in ophthalmology, just like Dr. Melendez. My family has a long history of eye problems, just of various cases, and I had a sister who got LASIK a couple years ago, and she really motivated me to get the surgery as well. And I found the Juliet Eye Institute through Dr. Melendez's work with the School of Medicine. He hosted a student group here at the Juliet Eye Center, and was able to show us around his clinic and show us all the machines and how to use different types of equipment. And that's when I realized that, someone who cares this much about students will definitely care about some students' eyes, and which is why I chose to go with the Juliet Eye Institute. And I went with Smile because of my day-to-day work balance. Sometimes I have to get up at 4 a.m., and I'm in a rush, driving to different hospitals, and I don't really have time to put contacts in, so I have to wear glasses. And over those glasses, I have to wear protective equipment, which is bothersome when you're wearing two different glasses and they'll fall off. And I just couldn't have that happening anymore. And this goes for any type of work where you have to wear safety glasses or where you need your vision to be at its best. So that's why I went with Smile. But yeah, I really appreciate all the work that they've done and all the care they've had for me, and all the follow-up they've done. So I'd like to thank them.
Awesome. We're so excited for you, brother. Yeah, this is a fun career for me. I'm relatively new to eyes, about 2 years, so extremely new compared to the lifespan of most of our technicians one of our technicians has been in there for 30 years, Brett. So he used to work hand in hand with Dr. Melendez in the OR back at his previous practice, and I'm just so thankful that I even have the opportunity to, come in and be a part of patient stories and make them, just amazing, right? So that's kind of a little tidbit about me. But our last speaker tonight is Miss Angelica, or Angie. She is one of our Smile patients, and just amazing. She's also pre-med as well. well, not as well. She's pre-med, hopefully in medical school here soon. But I'll hand it off to her.
Can I just hold it like this?
Yeah, you can hold it. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi guys. So I'm Angie. I just graduated back in May. I'm 23. My eye woes kind of started, I want to say I was about third grade or so. I had gone to the eye doctor. They did the little test on me. And the doctors told my parents that I had probably the worst eyesight that they had seen of anyone my age. And it kind of got worse and worse. I used to purposely lose my glasses all the time just because I hated wearing them. They were so thick. They used to make my eyes really small. It was a really big point of insecurity for me growing up. But it was kind of to the point where I could no longer lose my glasses because I couldn't see and go throughout my day. So when I was in fourth grade, I think, I convinced my parents to let me wear contacts. And they let me do it because I was in sports and like I actually kind of needed to not wear my glasses for a while. I had really bad habits with my contacts. I used to get eye infections all the time because I would sleep in them and I would not take care of them. They tried me in hard contacts for a while because they thought I had astigmatism, and I don't think I really did have astigmatism, but it was just a really big point of struggle for me. And then when I got older, when I got to college, studying a lot, and I would get just these insane headaches and eye strain, and it would get to the point where I feel like I wouldn't be able to focus my eyes anymore. It was just really, really bad. If I accidentally rubbed my eyes and a contact fell out, I would have to call my dad to drive me home. If my glasses fell off of my nightstand in the middle of the night, I would be on my hands and knees in the morning searching for things. If I had my contacts out and one of you guys was in front of me, I would not be able to tell who you were unless you were probably this close to my face. So yeah, again, I was just very insecure about it. It was a very big problem. It was starting to give me headaches and just all these crazy things. I had gone to the eye doctors prior and talked about how I had wanted LASIK, and they had told me, oh, you sleep in your contacts too much, you changed the shape of your eyes, you'll never be eligible for LASIK. And so I had kind of let it go for a couple of years, but kind of this past spring, it was really giving me problems again. And so I was like, you know what, let me just go get kind of some input from somebody who actually does LASIK and sees people on a daily basis. And someone recommended you guys to me. And by the end of my consultation, I just felt so taken care of, the staff, everybody, the whole family. You guys remind me a lot of my family, and so I was very comfortable. And at the end, I found out that I not only was eligible for LASIK, but I was also eligible for SMILE, which is the newer version. And SMILE has a lot shorter recovery time, so by the next day I was studying. By the end of my consultation, I had booked my appointment to get my LASIK, which was really exciting. And now it's crazy because I don't think about my eyesight ever now, which is nuts because it used to be just such a hassle on my day-to-day, like on a day-to-day basis. Now I can read street signs when I'm driving. I'm not just guessing what the word is based off of how long it is or the shape of it. Yeah, it's like waking up in my contacts every single morning, except it's healthy because I'm not sleeping in my contacts and I can actually see now. So it's great. It's really changed my life.
That's awesome. Thank you. We do a little small gift for you, Angelica, just to say thank you for sharing your personal story there, and give one to Kiana as well, for chatting as well. Here you go. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your stories. Very inspirational stories that we've heard. That's okay. Thank you. Some very inspirational stories that we've heard tonight about people seeing better, functioning better, doing the things that they love without glasses or contacts. Nothing wrong with glasses or contacts, but a lot of the people that we do surgery on are patients that have very high prescriptions, and it's difficult for them to even walk across their house without their glasses and contact lenses. Some people can actually do that, and most of the patients that are here tonight couldn't do that. So we are the most advanced laser eye surgery center in New Mexico. We know that. We know what everyone has. We wanted to bring in the latest, greatest for our state. I have colleagues across the whole country. There's a lot of surgery centers across the country that have the latest, greatest. And I said, you know, that there's no reason why New Mexico can't have the same thing. So that's what we have here. That's really the emphasis of the Juliet Eye Institute. It's really my job as a surgeon and as a physician to make sure that your eyes are healthy, make sure you're healthy before we operate on you. We're not here to do thousands and thousands of surgeries. We're really trying to just do a custom job for each personal patient, get to know you as a person. Our whole staff is committed to that. Our mission statement is patients first, and that's what really drives what we do every single day. That's not a cliche. We truly believe it and live it every single day. We're fortunate to have great patients as well. If you're not a great patient, I might turn you away, just for the record, because it's a business now. So we can turn people away. I found that out recently. I'm just kidding, and I can turn anybody away. But we are fortunate to have such great patients that we get along with, have fun with, help you see better. And so these are some of our most advanced technologies that we use. These may look very foreign to you, but within our industry, within eye surgery, these are the latest pieces of gadgets and technology in the world of eye surgery. And we're very proud that we're one of those premier laser surgery centers here in New Mexico. So you might be asking, what types of procedures do we offer? We offer Zeiss Smile, LASIK, the EVO ICL, PRK, and refractive lens exchange. We haven't touched on refractive lens exchange, but we're going to hear from a patient in just a moment, highlighting his experience about refractive lens exchange. We also do premium cataract surgery as well for those patients who are about 60 years and older. We have ways to get you out of your glasses and contacts to see up close and far without glasses. So if your parents are of the refractive lens exchange age, the RLE between ages of 40 and about 60, 65, oftentimes those patients are needing reading glasses. So Pacelli, do your parents need reading glasses?
Yeah.
Exactly. How old are your parents?
62.
Fantastic. You need to call them and bring them in.
Yeah.
No, your dad's already been in, so he probably already knows. But we do have surgeries to correct people's vision. We're not trying to just correct everybody. It's got to be somebody who really understands the risks and the benefits. The risks of all 6 of our surgeries are very low. I've been doing surgery for almost a year and a half, and they say I'm getting better. I'm kidding, just kidding. Everyone started counting back, like, when did I do my surgery? Yeah. No, I've been doing surgery for 20 years, but it takes 12 years just to sit in the chair to do the surgery. So it takes 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, 4 years of eye surgery training, just to sit in the chair to do your first case. And I've been doing it for 20 years. I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do, but we're also passionate about bringing some of the latest technologies to help people see at their very, very best. And we heard from everyone, or a few people already, but let's just highlight SMILE so you understand and put this into perspective. It's actually an acronym which stands for Small Incisional Lenticular Extraction. It was FDA approved in 2016. SMILE is actually the #1 corneal refractive surgery in the world today already. It's not the #1 in the US yet. LASIK is still #1 in the US. And the reason why is all the technology starts outside the US, then the FDA analyzes it. When I go to all my research meetings, we talk to all of our European colleagues and South American colleagues, and they've been doing this for many years with great results. And so you'll see SMILE slowly take over LASIK, I predict it, within the next 5 to 10 years. We're the first to offer it in Albuquerque. We're the only ones to offer it in Albuquerque. There's only 2 centers in the whole state of New Mexico that offer SMILE. And it's better for patients with dry eyes. So if you're nearsighted and have lower levels of astigmatism, SMILE is a good option. LASIK, you can treat higher levels of nearsightedness, higher levels of astigmatism. You can also treat farsightedness with LASIK. So LASIK has been out for a very long time, so it has a much broader stroke of different types of treatments. SMILE or LASIK, you're still going to get the same outcome. It's our job to really match the best technology for your eyes. So we don't just put everybody in the same LASIK box. That's all we do. Everyone's going to get LASIK because not everyone is really an ideal candidate for LASIK. So if we take a look at the actual surgery, let's walk through this together, and you'll actually see what the LASIK, or excuse me, the Zeiss Smile surgery is about. We only use one laser with the Smile as opposed to LASIK. What Smile does, the laser is making a layer of bubbles. Then it makes a second layer of bubbles right on top of it, and it makes a very thin layer of tissue called a lenticule. That thin piece of tissue then is removed through a very small opening of 4 millimeters, which looks like a smile, literally on the microscope. I'm not kidding. It looks like a smile. So you do have a smile on your cornea. And then I simply just remove that piece of tissue and we're done. Pretty quick and simple. Because it's a smaller incision, you can rub the eye, you can wear makeup the next day, do sports the next day. With LASIK, you'll see in just a moment, it's an older technology, but it's still the number one corneal-based surgery in the US, that is. LASIK is also an acronym which stands for Laser Assisted In Situ Keratomileusis. Not important to remember that, but in case somebody asks you, you can pull that out during the Christmas dinner table. FDA approved in 1999. So it's been out for a very long time, has a proven track record, highly successful. We currently have the fastest excimer laser for LASIK surgery. And we're very proud of that. We don't brag about it, but we're just proud of it. And people that have gone to 2 or 3 other consultations, I encourage everybody to get at least 2 consultations so you know what's out there. Are you going to see, did you actually meet your surgeon when you went to that consultation, or did you meet somebody else? Odds are you probably met somebody else. Here at the Juliet Institute, you're going to meet me, your surgeon. You're going to see me after your surgery is completed. LASIK is a very fast recovery. LASIK and Smile, very quick recoveries. The next day, you're already seeing quite well. So it's super quick. LASIK can be done on anybody between ages of 18 and about 40. Now, those patients are older than 60. We sometimes still will do LASIK on a 60-year-old or 70-year-old. Did you know that? You probably wouldn't expect that. But patients who are, let's say, 60 or 70, who may have had cataract surgery and they're not really happy with their vision, they want it sharper, we can still do LASIK on those patients to correct their vision. They might have some astigmatism left over, which is just an elevation of the cornea, the front window of the eye. We can correct that with LASIK. So let's walk through this particular LASIK video. LASIK requires 2 different lasers that you have to lie under. It makes a very large opening in the cornea. Then once that layer is created, I actually lift that piece of tissue up. Once the tissue is raised and lifted, we move you to a second laser bed. And the second laser is called an excimer laser. What this laser is doing, it's reshaping the front surface of the cornea, flattening little mountains and hills and making it completely round. And that's what allows those light rays to enter the eye to ultimately focus on the back of the eye or the retina. Takes under 5 minutes, like Smile, very quick. And then once we're done with the laser, I'll gently reposition the LASIK flap. You want to be very careful for the first 2 weeks not to rub the eye because you can move that flap. It's not common, but if you do sports, if you play basketball or you play hockey or you're an athlete, you may not want to have LASIK because you have that flap. When I served in the military, the only procedure that was allowed in the military personnel was PRK. PRK is the oldest version of LASIK. There's no flap. We just remove the superficial cells which grow back. Then we reshape the cornea and then those cells grow back. That's PRK. Then later LASIK was approved in the military because we found that most military personnel were not in contact. They're mainly in an office. Then Smile came out, and Smile is a much preferred technique in the military over LASIK surgery. Now we have the EVO ICL. There's 2 varieties. There's the ICL and the ICL Plus. Haley was the first ICL toric patient in the state of New Mexico to receive this, groundbreaking lens implant. It's the real deal. It's cool. EVO ICL is really for those patients who have really high prescriptions that you don't qualify for LASIK, you don't qualify for Smile, you don't qualify for PRK. So if we're trying to have like an arm wrestling contest, like who was the most blind in here before our surgery? We should have that competition. There she is. Look at her. All right, look at her right here. This girl over here. So, but not anymore, right? But not anymore. So we really customize each piece of technology for each patient. We don't just do LASIK. We do all 6 of the surgeries. There's only 6 in the world to correct people's vision, and we do all 6 right here in this building. We have 2 surgery suites here at the end of our building. We do all of our surgeries right here. This one was FDA approved in 2022. The ICL concept's been out for over 15 years. but the new Evo lens implant was just FDA approved this year. It was modified, so you don't need to do a laser treatment before this lens implant. So it has a proven track record. Over 1 million procedures have been performed worldwide, but it's still very new in the US. Super fast recovery like LASIK PRK, same day, next day. You're just blown away. We're blown away consistently of how quickly the patients are recovering. So let's watch a quick video of the Evo ICL. So the Evo ICL is mainly for patients between -3 and -20 diopters of nearsightedness, and also treats lower levels of astigmatism. Here's the implantable Collamer lens. It's a proprietary piece of tissue lens material that's, we don't know what it's technically made out of, other than it's called a Collamer, but it's very biocompatible inside the eye. It's been proven doesn't react inside the eye. It's an inert piece of material, like our cataract surgery patients when we put that lens in their eye. Patients tolerate it very, very well. And what's the advantage of the ICL is that it's reversible. So as newer technologies come out into the future, as let's say, hey, as you move into your 50s, and there's newer technologies that come out, you can just have that lens removed and you have something upgraded. That also goes for our LASIK and our SMILE and our PRK patients. You're also still a candidate for the upgrade procedures as well. But just so you know, we're already taking some of the older ICLs out, some patients that are older in their mid-50s, they've lost their near vision, or they might have a cataract. It's very simple to take the lens out. It's not harmful to the eye. And then we do their cataract surgery, put a new lens in there, and then they're seeing great once again. PRK, the oldest technique, first FDA approved in 1995. This is better for patients with very thin corneas. We're also removing tissue, just like LASIK, just like SMILE, but it's a much, much slower and painful recovery. We sometimes use this. It's not that often. Some surgeons in the city primarily do this older technique, but they mark it on their website as it's LASIK, sadly. I'm not going to mention any names, but that's pretty sad, knowing that we have much newer technologies out today to give you a faster recovery. It's probably a little less expensive. That's probably why they do that. But here's a video of PRK, which stands for photorefractive keratectomy. What we do is we basically put some alcohol on the surface of the eye, literally. So we put a little bit of alcohol on the surface of the eye that loosens that outer layer. Once the outer layer is loosened, we remove it. Then the same laser that we use with LASIK is the same laser that we use for PRK that reshapes the front surface of the eye, flattens the hills, makes it very round. Then we put a bandaged contact lens over the eye, wait for those cells to grow back, usually grows back in 5 to 7 days, and the vision is restored usually within 1 to 4 weeks. If you're older, it might take 6 to maybe 12 weeks. So it's a very slow recovery, but this is all we had when we first started doing this. And then I was first trained with LASIK in 2005. And I've been doing surgery for almost 20 years now, and I do a lot of surgeries. So that's a little bit on PRK. Next, I'd like to talk about refractive lens exchange, and then we're going to bring up a patient who's had refractive lens exchange, and he can share firsthand sort of his experiences. Typically, you have to be older than 40 to do a refractive lens exchange because that's the age at which you start to lose some of your near vision. When you're 45, it's really obvious, like, wow, it's gone. What happened? And so those patients are highly motivated to get their near vision fixed. Oftentimes, these patients will go in and try to ask to get LASIK. And if I send this patient to a LASIK only place in town, that person will do LASIK on them. And they'll do what's called monovision, where one eye's focused here, the other one's at distance. And we used to do that 5 years ago, but we have better technologies out. With the refractive lens exchange, we're essentially removing your natural lens in your eye and replacing it with the PanOptix trifocal lens, which allows you to read up close, computer, and distance without any glasses. And that'll last for the rest of your life. You'll never need cataract surgery after this surgery. This is your last surgery of your life. So here's a quick video on the refractive lens exchange. This is your lens right here. We're going to actually make an opening in the front of the lens. We use laser technology to do that. We also do it by hand. And then we shell out the inner contents of the lens, and then that's where the new lens implant goes into that space. The ICL lens actually goes just right in front of this lens. LASIK and Smile and PRK works on the front of the eye, the cornea. So those are our 6 surgeries that we do. I like to bring up Kurt. Kurt's a total rock star. We did his surgery over a year ago now. Kurt is quite the entrepreneur and business leader in our community. Runs, I think, a couple radio stations now, manages, but he's just a really down-to-earth guy, super knowledgeable. He knows so much about every little fact. I'm like, how do you know so much? It's so impressive. People think I'm smart. I only know just a few things. Just it's about science and math. And that's pretty much all I know. But Kurt seems to be very, very well versed in a lot of different topics. Kurt, come on up, and love to hear your story. Does Kurt have a microphone, Josh? Awesome.
How's it going, guys? Thank you.
Sure.
How's it going, guys? Thank you, Rob. So, I had the good fortune of meeting Rob about 2 or 3 years ago at King Kong Custom, which is one of the businesses that I own, and we struck up a friendship, started talking a little bit. I had started working in radio. I have a couple of radio stations, and Rob we started doing some stuff when he left his previous place to strike out on his own in business. We started doing a radio show in the mornings called Eye on Health. And I really got to know Rob during this time and learn a lot about, not only how much he knows about vision, but just everything from a medical standpoint. The guy, he got into this, I don't know if he told you his story, but he came to this after his mother lost her vision and decided that was something that he was going to pursue later in life. So he is extremely, extremely sincere about how he is able to help people and the changes that he can make in people's lives. And I, like some of the people who spoke earlier, started to lose my vision when I was in about 3rd or 4th grade. I had the prescription for glasses. My vision deteriorated very quickly. It was one of those things, both my parents wore glasses. I knew I was going to have to wear glasses. Didn't want to, fought it like crazy. Squinted my way through vision tests as far as I could until they were like, all right, dude, you can't read anything. Like, we have to do something. So got a prescription for glasses, and for whatever reason, wearing glasses gives me severe migraine headaches. And I wore glasses through when I was in 8th grade, and almost every day, I'd go home from school and have to just lay down in the dark because my head hurt so bad. I can't make it through a movie wearing the glasses for the 3D vision things. And by the time I was in 8th grade, we had finally figured out that this is why, and I started wearing contact lenses. Because my vision had gotten so bad at that point, when I got my first contact lenses, it was the ones you took out every night. As I got older, they came out with the ones that you could wear for a week at a time or 30 days at a time, and I abused that. It's one of those things where my vision was so bad, like was mentioned earlier, if you wake up in the middle of the night and I didn't have lenses in, I couldn't see anything. I couldn't recognize someone unless they were directly in my face. It's the kind of thing, if you wake up and one of my kids is having a problem, I can't see to help them. My daughter the other morning woke up screaming because she'd overflowed the toilet. If that had been, I couldn't have figured out what was going on, seeing anything. It would have taken me 5 minutes to go find contact lenses, put them in. If somebody had been breaking into my house, I would have been in a terrible shape. I couldn't have seen what was going on or done anything to protect my family. And these are all things that were very impactful to me, and I wore my contacts way more than I should. I slept in them way more than I should. I didn't take care of my eyes. I had infections in my eye fairly regularly because I was working in my shop. A lot of the time I was getting debris and things in my eyes, and because I wasn't cleaning my eyes and taking care of them, I had problems. And it was something that, I knew that I had to figure out a way to cope with this. I'd always wanted to get something done to my eyes, and when I met Rob and we started talking about the fact that I was going to lose my near vision, because it's a foregone conclusion as you get older, that was something that really terrified me, because the fact that I would have to wear reading glasses was something where I knew that, I wouldn't be able to sit down and read a book or something like that anymore. Sitting and working at a computer, doing a lot of different things that I was used to doing. If I had to wear reading glasses, I'd have to go back to having these horrible migraine headaches. And Rob and I discussed this for quite some time and talked about the different options there were, and he explained to me the refractive lens exchange and the new technology that they have that has multiple focal points. And so we ended up going through with this, and so you have a closer up reading, looking at your phone type of distance, a little bit further with the computer, and then your distance vision. I went through the whole process, came in, and I know a lot of people it's scary to have somebody operate on your eyes. The gentleman that I bought the radio stations from, he's getting ready to come see Dr. Melendez to get his eyes done because of my testimony. It was the same thing. He's absolutely terrified. To have somebody go in and work on your eyes, it's scary. We all grow up going to shop class where it says, you can chew with wood teeth and you can walk on a peg leg, but you can't see with a glass eye. And so it's one of those things. I had developed a relationship with Dr. Rob and a trust where I knew that he would never put me in a position that wasn't safe. And I went back, did the surgery. It went extremely quickly. It wasn't painful. Went home, went to bed, woke up the next morning, came in, and I could see 20/15. I'll never have to do anything else to my eyes because of this. My close vision is never going to go away. My distant vision is never going to go away. I'm not going to have cataracts. There are so many things in life that we take for granted, and there are so many things that we do where we're investing money in a new car that is a depreciable asset that we're going to have to replace. But our bodies are the one thing that we have that you're never going to get rid of. That was something that Warren Buffett said once, is if somebody came to you and said, you have to choose one car, and this is the car that you're going to drive for the rest of your life, how are you going to treat that car? Probably a lot different than you do now when you know you're going to trade it in 3 years or 5 years or next year. But with your body, you're never going to be able to do that. And something like this is an investment that will pay dividends for the rest of your life. It's something that is always going to be impactful to you. Every morning when I wake up, my life is better because of having this done. And so I had asked Dr. Rob if I could come here and explain this to everybody, because I feel like it's a gift that you get every day, and it's something that a lot of people, I don't know if it's worth spending the money to do this. Do you buy coffee at Starbucks? Do you buy a new purse or whatever it may be that different people would spend their money on? But when it's something like this that can improve your quality of life every single day, it's a blessing to have. And so I'd asked Dr. Rob if I could come in and just talk to you all about this. And as a gift of ours from my radio group, we actually have a partner in El Patron. Anybody who wants to set up their consultation with Rob tonight, I want to give you a $50 gift certificate, buy you dinner at El Patron also, just for taking the time to speak with him and let him explain everything in the process to you, because this is one of the best decisions that you can make. There is nothing that you can invest in that is more valuable than in yourself. And I appreciate everything that Dr. Rob and his crew here have done. They are all extremely professional. They have all of the newest technology. They are friendly. They are family. And they'll always be here to take care of you, and I really appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you, Kurt. Okay, so next thing we're going to talk about is financing. So as we know, especially with the holiday season coming around, we're kind of saving our money for spending it on others, which is great. But you know what? This is the time of the year to be selfish, okay? Think about yourself. Think about your Christmas gift. How are you going to treat yourself? Treat yourself to new vision. New vision, new you, new year, right? We have a really cool promotion. So we partner with a company called Alpheon Credits, where we do 2 years, no interest, which is pretty sweet. My favorite part about it is the no interest. That's what gets me. I was shopping around a few months ago for a new heater, and I want to know, what's your interest rate? What's this? What's that? How long is the period for? So no interest is pretty sweet. There's no penalty if you decide to pay it off early as well. Get to borrow somebody else's money. It's pretty easy to apply. Inside the folder, there's a QR code. It just takes minutes, and it'll tell you right away if you are approved or not. And that's it. That's all I got on financing. Awesome. Thank you. You got it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's go ahead and open up for questions and answers. Any pressing questions that you might have, or any additional comments from our patients that have joined us tonight. Any questions?
How long does this procedure not take or last?
How long does it last?
5 years?
So are you referring to the refractive lens exchange, or? Sure. So the refractive lens exchange is designed to outlive you. There's two things that happen in your lifespan. Typically around 45, you begin to lose some of your near vision, your reading vision. So this surgery corrects that problem. The second thing that happens is when you're about 65, 70, you get a cataract. That's where the lens in the eye gets yellow. Everyone gets that across the whole world. So this surgery also corrects that issue. We know it'll outlive you because I've been doing it for 20 years, and I've seen patients who have had cataract surgery 30, 40 years ago with the same lens implant. They've been coming in for years, and their prescription hasn't changed. And that's a much older lens technology than what we have today. So we know that it's really designed to really outlive you. As opposed to the ICL, you have that option of taking it out at some point and upgrading it to something different. If you had LASIK, PRK, or SMILE, you're still a candidate for refractive lens exchange. You're still a candidate for cataract surgery down the road. But in reference to the ROE, that one's technically your last surgery and designed to outlive you. Josh.
We have a question from one of our virtual attendees. How do I know which procedure is best for my eyes?
So the question was, how do I know which is the best procedure for my eyes? It's our job to make sure that your eyes are healthy, and thank you for that question. Thank you for joining us on Zoom tonight. It's our job to make sure your eyes are healthy. So we'll take a lot of images, make sure everything looks good. Typically, we have 3 cornea-based surgeries and 3 lens-based surgeries. The 3 cornea-based surgeries that we talked about, which are right up here in this top layer here, those particular surgeries are patients between the ages of 18 and about 42. So if you're between 18 and 42, it's either going to be SMILE, LASIK, or PRK. If your prescription's very high, let's say you're -8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up to -20, if you could imagine that. We did a doctor who was a -27, a -27 refractive lens exchange. We do a lot of physicians and nurses in the community here, and we're proud of that because they keep telling all the other nurses and doctors to come see us. And she wasn't a candidate for anything, and she was too old for ICL. So we did the refractive lens exchange, and it's a combination surgery that's going to require refractive lens exchange and LASIK on top of that to get her where she needs to be. As soon as we finished the refractive lens exchange, she sat up and she literally was in tears. I mean, she was crying. She's like, if you just left me like this, I would be so happy. That makes us feel good. Obviously, I don't want to leave anybody at that level, but she was so happy that she's like, I'm fine just like this. But we have the potential to get people down to 0, which is essentially equal to about 20/20. We, of course, have the ICL. We talked about ICLs for those patients between 21 and 42, and refractive lens exchange is usually 40 to about 65, and then cataract surgery is 65 and to 100. We've done a lot of 90-year-olds. Some people would ask, like, why would you do surgery on a 90-year-old? Well, they're still alive, aren't they? And we have a lot of 90-year-olds that are more like 70-year-olds, still walking, speed walking. They still read. They're still very engaged. So whether you got a year or you got 50 years, we want you to live your best life. Yes, you have great vision, but my question to you is, what are you going to do with that great vision? What impact are you going to have in your world, whatever your world is, and then what impact are you going to have in the bigger world? And that's really what we try to do. We try to do bigger things. We do a lot of philanthropy in our communities and give back and do things that outlive us, because I'm not going to be here forever. I probably have about 5 years left in this job. I'll probably retire and move on to my next career. But that's another seminar. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Any other questions from online?
What is the difference between SMILE and LASIK?
What is the difference between SMILE and LASIK? LASIK first came out in 1999, Zeiss, FDA approved in 2016. Both are very good procedures. They're cornea-based surgeries where we're removing tissue, reshaping the surface of the eye. Zeiss SMILE is better for dry eyes and those who have a much more active lifestyle. So if you're playing sports, if you run the risk of scratching the eye, then you want to do SMILE. LASIK is better if you have higher levels of nearsightedness, more astigmatism, and there's certain little nuances that we look for on all of our imaging tests. What's best for your eyes? They're all great technologies. They're all great to get you right where you need to be, 20/20 or better. So it's not to, and no one should ever say like, well, mine's better than yours. No, you actually both are seeing the exact same way, but we've just chosen the best technology for your specific set of eyes. Looks like there's another question online as well.
Yeah, how long does the procedure last, like the actual surgery?
Sure, so let's talk about LASIK, SMILE, and PRK, since that's what most people have had here, including ICL. So the question is, how long does my surgery last for? Do you think your surgery is going to last for the rest of your life?
For the rest of my life?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, great. Pacelli, what do you think?
Yeah, until I need lens replacement.
Okay, exactly. So once you reach 45, you're going to need reading glasses. So you just put readers on. If you get frustrated by that at some point, we have a surgery to fix that. That's the refractive lens exchange. If you're okay with the readers, then you just wait till you're about 70 when you get your cataracts, and then we take your cataracts out, and then you're done. Then you're completely done. ICL, same thing. 45, you're going to need readers. 65, 70, you're going to need cataract surgery, and then we can restore the vision right back to where you're seeing now. Good questions. Anything else? Any questions? Yes, sir.
So I've already had cataract surgery about 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Extreme astigmatism.
Mm-hmm.
Put a toric lens in there, and it was more than swell. I could see like people on the moon. You didn't know there was people on the moon, did you?
Not till tonight. Yeah.
So it was great for about 3 years, and then slowly it's been going to hell again, and now it's shot.
Mm-hmm.
It was expensive. So do you remove all of that too?
No.
That lens? And
No.
the RLE?
No. So patients who've had cataract surgery, there are options for patients who've had cataract surgery. So if some of your parents have had cataract surgery where the lens has been removed, a new lens has been put in there, in your case a toric lens, which implies that you've had astigmatism, and the toric should technically correct that. What we do for patients today who are in your predicament, we'll dilate you, make sure there aren't other reasons to explain why you're not seeing well, your optic nerve, your retina. The most common problem after cataract surgery that causes decreased vision is what's called an after cataract, or the medical term is posterior capsule opacification. This structure back here is called the posterior capsule. It'll start to cloud over or opacify, so we call it PCO. If it opacifies, we'll go in with a YAG laser and polish it off, or kind of basically punch a hole through the membrane essentially. And that falls to the back of the eye, the body reabsorbs that, and that'll sharpen the vision back to where you were right after your original surgery. So if you've had that done before already, have you had that done already?
The first surgery.
Correct. So you've had cataract surgery, but have you had this YAG laser after? That's probably what you need. So, and we do that here as well. And we just polish off this film, and all of a sudden you say, this is like it was right after my original surgery. So schedule a consultation. We'll evaluate your entire eye. And then let's say that's already open, and there's a little bit of astigmatism left over. Then what we do is we'll go in and we'll do a little LASIK touch up on the front surface of the eye. Remember what an astigmatism is? It's an elevation of the cornea. And so we just basically flatten that out. And we're talking in microns level. So for every 1 diopter of prescription that you have, let's say you're a -10. For every 1 diopter, we remove 16 microns of tissue. 2 diopters, 32 microns. That's a very small level of tissue that we're precisely removing. I can't take credit, the laser's doing it. We've invested in the best technology to get it right. So you also might qualify for just a little laser touch-up to correct some of the astigmatism, and all of a sudden you're off to the races again, seeing great at distance. And I predict you probably need reading glasses. Is that correct?
Yeah, for close-up work, because the torics don't flex.
Correct.
So supposedly when I had it from 5 feet to the moon, it was great. Anything close, I've got to have reading glasses.
Right. Yeah, and we do have newer lens technology out called the PanOptix trifocal that we put in all of our refractive lens exchange patients. That's the 16 inches, 24, and about 3 feet out to infinity. That's the same lens that we also put in our cataract patients, primarily. Comes in a toric variety as well, and that's really our go-to lens. That's what most patients do. Excellent questions tonight. Anything else? Any birthdays coming up this month? When was it?
The 2nd.
December 2nd. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right? You did. Nobody told me happy birthday.
Did you get a Christmas card?
No.
Okay, great. Okay. You got a Christmas card? Fantastic. Say it again?
Happy holidays to you too.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Awesome.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, kind of like this question. With the surgery I got, the EVO ICL, if my prescription ever did get worse, or if my vision ever did decline, or if like my astigmatism was, I don't know if it can get worse, but if it did, are you able to get surgeries on top of without removing my eye?
Yes.
Can I get touch-up?
Excellent question. So we do this already in some of the ICL patients because their astigmatism is so high that the ICL treatment only goes up to about 3 diopters of treatment. So if somebody comes in, they need 5 diopters of correction for their astigmatism. We put in the highest ICL lens, then we do LASIK on top of that. You were never a candidate for LASIK because we'd have to remove so much tissue that you'd have like a thin piece of paper left in the front of your eye and could rupture. Now that you have a lens in your eye, that's doing most of the correction. If we ever had to do a LASIK touch-up, it'd be very little, maybe 16 microns of tissue removed. You leave the lens there. Yeah. 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 It's not common, but we've done it. Yes, sir.
Do you know how many surgeries you've done since opening Juliet Eye Institute?
It's a good question. Look at you, Pacelli. So if we add all of our lasers, because we do a lot of lasers, YAG lasers, LASIK, PRK, SMILE, add the ICLs, add all of our ROEs, all of our cataract. We do a lot of cataract surgery too. We probably have done, I would say way more than that, because we do have a surgery logbook in just in like the lens-based surgeries. So we had all the lasers. Probably I'd say probably 1,500 to 1,600 already just in the last 2 years, just right here in this building. Dr. Bernitsky was the one that built this building 12 years ago, and he did all the same surgeries that we do. But now we have all these newer technologies that he didn't have. So he's been here, and we repainted everything and knocked the walls down and stuff. And he's like, "This is cool." Then he started to look at all of our new technologies. Like, "What is that?" I'm like, "That's the newest version of LASIK." I mean, he was just shocked that the technology changed so much in 5 years. He's like, "Man, I wish I could come back." So
He did my dad's LASIK in like 2002.
there you go. Dr. Berninsky did her dad's LASIK in 2002. Yeah, and now we're seeing those patients come back who've had LASIK surgery 10 to 20 years ago, and they're wanting it, sharpened. So we do refractive lens exchange on. Or patients who've had cataract surgery who say, "Yeah, it used to be good," or "It was never good." Is there something that you can do to enhance my vision and sharpen that distance vision again? And the answer to that is, generally speaking, yes. Awesome. Now at this time, we're going to give out some prizes, I believe, and spin the wheel. Is that right, Josh? Who's in charge of the wheel? Chris and Melissa? Unless you want to come up here? Melissa, I want to introduce Melissa as well. Chris is our administrator for our practice. Josh, I'm introduced already as our patient experience director and marketing director. Melissa is our newest addition. She was just hired. She's our new LASIK coordinator and SMILE coordinator. She's also works at the front desk as well. And then she's also our patient experience coordinator. So Josh is our patient experience director. Most medical practices don't have a patient experience director. Like, why would you spend all that money on a patient experience director? Well, you guys have lived through the Juliet Eye Institute experience, right? And I just like to put myself in your position of how would I want to be treated, right? Like, I want to be catered to, right? I want to be respected, want to be listened to. And so we go the extra mile to do that genuinely. We're not here to, create a facade. This is who we are. But this team is real. We have a total of 13 people on our team. But I want to introduce Melissa and Carissa. We'll let them do the spin the wheel.